This fish is slowly giving up its eyes, not because evolution failed, but because down here seeing can cost more than it is worth. 4,000 meters beneath the ocean, a tripodfish stands above the mud on 3 impossibly long fins. It looks less like a fish than a machine waiting for a signal. Its eyes are tiny, its forward fins stretch into delicate feelers, and in the absolute darkness, those feelers may tell it more than vision ever could. But why would evolution dismantle something as powerful as an eye? The answer begins with the most unforgiving budget on Earth. Welcome to the bathypelagic zone. Roughly 1,000 to 4,000 meters down, sunlight has vanished. The water is cold, crushing, and almost empty of food near the surface. Energy arrives every morning. Plants capture sunlight, animals feed, and meals move constantly through the water. Down here, most energy falls from above as scraps, dead plankton, waste, fragments of animals, and occasional bodies drifting through the dark. Every calorie is uncertain. A fish may wait hours for something edible to pass close enough. In this world, survival is an audit. Muscle costs energy. Movement costs energy, a large brain costs energy, and an eye is not a free window. The retina is living neural tissue. Its cells must stay powered, repaired, and connected to brain regions that interpret every signal. Even when an eye receives almost nothing useful, the body still pays to build and maintain it in an energy desert that bill matters. This does not mean one hungry fish decides to trade its eyes for better fins. Evolution is stranger, slower, and far more ruthless. Within a population, tiny inherited differences appear. Some fish develop slightly smaller eyes. Others have more sensitive fin rays or stronger motion sensors. If reduced vision saves energy without reducing survival, those fish can leave more offspring. Repeat that process for millions of years and anatomy begins to change. The tripodfish and its relatives belong to a deep-sea lineage where ordinary eyes have been reduced, buried, or transformed into something almost unrecognizable. The tripodfish is the easiest to understand because its entire body reveals the replacement strategy. It does not patrol the seafloor searching for prey. Swimming would burn precious fuel. Instead, it plants itself in the mud and faces the current. 2 elongated pelvic rays and 1 tail ray form its tripod. They lift the fish above the bottom while using almost no energy. Then the fish spreads its pectoral fins forward. Their sensitive tips act like antennae, waiting for tiny animals carried by the flow. A shrimp does not need to be seen. It only needs to brush a feeler, disturb the current, or move close enough to trigger an attack. The tripodfish can remain almost perfectly still while the ocean brings food to it. It has turned patience into a hunting weapon. That strategy changes the value of an eye. A sharp image of distant darkness is useless when the meal that matters will arrive within touching distance, but touch is only part of the story. Running along the bodies of fishes is another sense that humans do not possess. It is called the lateral line, a network of tiny motion detectors known as neuromasts. Each contains hair cells that bend when nearby water moves. To a fish, those changes can reveal direction, vibration, turbulence, and the wake left by another animal. Imagine standing in a black room and feeling the shape of every footstep through the air. That is closer to how this ocean can feel. In several deep-sea fish groups, lateral line structures are widened, exposed, or multiplied, potentially making them more sensitive to faint flows. The darkness has not simply blinded these animals, it has made the water itself part of their sensory world. And this creates a fascinating trade. Information once gathered from photons can instead arrive through pressure, vibration, smell, touch, and chemical traces. The animal is not becoming less aware, it is changing what awareness means. There is direct evidence that vision can carry a serious energy cost, although the clearest experiment comes from a different world of darkness. Researchers comparing surface fish with eyeless Mexican cavefish estimated that losing eyes and related brain tissue produced meaningful metabolic savings. A cave is not the abyss, and a cavefish is not a tripod fish. But the experiment proves the basic principle. Maintaining vision consumes part of an animal's limited budget. In the deep sea, that pressure combines with something even harsher. Food is scarce, encounters are rare, and wasting energy can mean missing the next chance to reproduce. Still, darkness does not force every fish toward blindness. In fact, some deep-sea fishes take the exact opposite path. Barrelies build huge tubular eyes aimed upward. Some dragonfishes hunt with bioluminescent light. Certain species evolved retinas tuned to detect incredibly faint flashes. One study found deep-sea lineages with many different rhodopsin genes, giving them an extraordinary palette for reading the dim lights around them. So why enlarge eyes in one animal and reduce them in another? Because depth alone does not write the answer. Lifestyle does. A roaming predator searching for glowing prey may benefit from every captured photon. A stationary hunter waiting beside the mud may not. Evolution is not trying to build the best eye, it is building the cheapest body that can still win in one particular niche. This is why the tripodfish is more than a bizarre animal. It is one side of a deep-sea sensory arms race. Its relatives reveal an even stranger possibility. In the fish genus Hypnops, the familiar round eye has been remodeled into flattened plates across the top of the head. These organs retain retinal tissue and optic nerves, but they lack the normal lens of an image-forming eye. They appear built to register faint light from above. For a long time, scientists thought Hypnops had no eyes at all. The real discovery was weirder. Evolution had taken the eye apart and rebuilt only the pieces that remained useful, and the transformation begins during the animal's own life. Hypnops larvae near the surface possess more conventional sideways eyes. As they descend and metamorphose, those eyes become the strange upward-facing organs of the adult. It is like watching an ancient evolutionary compromise replay itself inside a single fish. The deeper lesson is that an organ does not have only two settings, perfect or gone. Evolution can shrink it, rotate it, flatten it, or preserve one function while discarding another. For the tripod fish, the most valuable information may not be an image. It may be one twitch in a fin ray. That twitch can mean food, a change in flow can mean danger, a chemical trace can mean another animal passed nearby. Its world may appear empty on camera, but to the fish it is filled with invisible events moving through the water. There's also a brutal advantage to standing still. Every chase risks spending more energy than the captured prey would return. The tripod posture avoids that gamble. The fish becomes a living trap, raised into the current, sampling the darkness without constantly searching it. Smaller eyes are therefore not proof of decay. They are evidence that natural selection stopped paying for the wrong tool. Over generations, resources are not consciously moved from one organ to another. Instead, bodies that invest in useful senses outperform bodies paying for useless precision. Eventually, what looks like a missing ability from our perspective becomes an incredibly specialized advantage from theirs. We tend to imagine evolution as a climb toward greater complexity, sharper eyes, faster muscles, larger brains, but the deep ocean tells another story. Sometimes the winning move is subtraction, lose the expensive structure, slow the body down. Replace distant sight with intimate contact. Let the current do the hunting. The result is an animal that looks helpless under bright research lights, yet is perfectly tuned to a world we can barely enter. And somewhere in that darkness, a tripod fish is standing motionless, reading vibrations we cannot feel, waiting for a meal it may never need to see. Thanks for watching. If you want more stories from the strangest parts of our ocean, subscribe to Below the Blue, and I will see you in the next descent.